welcome. This is our snack sandwich. Today I'm going to take a quick look at GigaSwap, okay? I've read through the docs and it's a little bit wanting. There's a lot of question marks, but I didn't dig super deep. Like I didn't go into the Telegram here and ask tons of questions. But I will explain to you basically what this project is. It's this upcoming project. So I'm going to explain to you the idea of what this wants to do, some of the features it wants to provide to people. And you can decide whether or not you want to join this community and follow this Twitter and kind of get more ideas. I don't know anything about the team. I never talked to any from the team. I don't know who they are. It's something, again, you'll have to research on your own. They do have they are using the GigaChat as their logo, which kind of gives them some credibility. They do have this tweet here where it's like, they didn't take any kind of like influencers. There's no VCs. There's no they're just basically a stealth launch. And that kind of is kind of nice. It's kind of refreshing. And that kind of gives them some DeFi credibility as well. They understand the benefits of doing a stealth launch as opposed to doing a kind of a VC backed or some sort of influencer backed and so forth. Okay. Now that's why probably you don't hear a lot about this project. So here's the website and here is the dApp so far. As you can see, it's on the testnet, so it's not quite live yet. So maybe there will be a lot more going on here when you come here and it is live. Okay. I'm going to go into the docs and just talk a little bit about a few of the features that I see inside there. And as always, I suggest you to read the docs yourself, okay? So one of the things that they're trying to do is that they're trying to provide OTC trading. Now, they talk in here a little bit about, the benefits of using DeFi versus centralized exchanges. And I won't talk too much about them because I think most of my viewers will understand or at least know this major benefit. But the problems that they're trying to solve here is the problems that you find inside DeFi protocols. Like if you go to Uniswap and you make a swap there are some issues that you do have to consider. And here are some of them that they're trying to solve. And that is the avoidance of a transaction tax. They call it a transaction tax, but what we're talking about is trading fees, right? So if you use OTC trading, you don't have to pay any kind of percentage. And this can be quite substantial if you have to hop through many pools, right? Chart protection, as well as minimization of price impact. So that's kind of these are kind of the same thing. They're kind of going hand in hand. And what that basically means is if you do a large sale on a pool that doesn't have a lot of liquidity, you will print a big red candle. But if you do OTC trading, that doesn't happen. And a lot of projects do OTC trading with whales or individual people who want to do an OTC trade because they don't want these issues. And there's also the idea of getting front run and so forth. You won't get front run through an OTC trade, right? So they also talk about, let's say I were to meet up with you and I talk to you on Telegram or Discord and you want to buy my project's token and we want to do an OTC trade. Well, the point of GigaSwap here is that there's a contract in the middle that's going to set the terms. So we both set the terms of that deal, and then one person deploys the trade and the other person checks it and executes the trade. And so I would send my tokens to the contract, and then you would send your tokens to the contract, and the contract would then deliver the tokens across, which is much more safe and fraud resistant than I send. We talk about the terms and then who sends the tokens first. Like I have 100 shit tokens I want to sell, and you have ETH. Like who's going to send those tokens first? So that's the point of these kind of OTC trading platforms. And now it's not the first one to do this, but there is some features in here that are interesting. So there's this talk here about they have this constant product formula here, and they talk about dynamic versus fixed. Now, as you can see, there's not a whole lot here. So I'm going to guess a little bit what this means. And basically my idea here is that, let's say I have 100 shit tokens and I want to sell them, but you only want 10, right? So it'll be harder for me to find 10 people to buy 10 because I want to sell 100, right? So maybe I can put 100 tokens in a contract waiting for people to come and buy, and people can come and buy them, right? So I could do fixed or dynamic. So I could say, every shit token, I want, 10 USDC for one shit token. And then the whole pool will sell that much. Or I could do some sort of dynamic thing where, you know, the first people who buy get it cheaper. And as people buy my token, my shit token, then the price starts going up and up and up. So that's kind of what I'm guessing from this OTC pairing. Again, dig deeper, ask out, right? So here's this chart protection here, and I'll go a little bit more detail into why, you know, OTC is good for it. So in this case, in this example, you know, some whale has a whole bunch of tokens and he wants to sell 25%. He wants to get some profits. He wants to take profits. So he uses this project and he's able to do so without having done bad things. Now, there's this little nugget here that says Trader C has the same token on his watch list. If I go to the dApp, I don't see any kind of links to watch lists and so forth, but that'll be interesting. Let's say it says here that, oh, this guy is interested in buying, you know, 100 of my shit token. Then I can message him, or we can talk in this chat box or some sort of, or I can just set up a trade and he will see that and be like, oh, great. Or maybe his is already there waiting. He's already put like the ETH for the shit tokens, and then I just have to, you know, execute that trade. So that's interesting. So that's this kind of watch list thing, which I don't know too much more about it, but I'm, you know, just kind of guessing and so forth. So in this case, you know, the whale wants to offload some of his things, but he doesn't want to print a big red candle and destroy, you know, the project or make the project look bad. The project has to then defend, why is there a big red candle? He doesn't want that, but he wants to take some profits because that's smart, right? But if he takes profits only 25%, and he's got 75% of those tokens, he also doesn't want to decrease the value of those tokens because he's still holding 75% of his bags, right? So he's able to take profits if he does an OTC trade without, you know, affecting the price. So this guy, Trader C, who bought some of these 25% of his shit tokens, doesn't have to worry about, he wasn't getting front run. Like if he buys a large amount on a Uniswap pool, he could get front run, right? And you know, they both don't have to worry about, oh, you know, dumping the price, raising the price, or so forth, right? And they both didn't have to pay any kind of trading fees or taxations. Now there are some, you know, tokens that, you know, when you transfer the token, there's a taxation there that's something you would have to, that they can't avoid that because that's part of the token itself, right? But most of them don't do that, right? And then the chart is unaffected, so the project doesn't need to defend that big red candle, okay? Now it does say here, multi-asset cross-chain trading. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot here, but there is talk about, you know, they're going to be multi-chain. Now, and it does talk about like, you know, like I don't have any BNB and I want to buy that new token on BNB. So they're going to use some sort of bridges as well. So you won't have to bridge your money and then make the swap. You will just be able to do it here. Let's say I have ETH and I want to buy that shit token that's sitting on Binance Smart Chain or on Phantom or on Polygon or whatever chains they support, right? Then I don't need to send my ETH across, convert it, and then buy that token through the liquidity pool on whatever AMM that shit token sitting on. It'll just do it here, right? It'll bridge for me, and I will have that token on Binance Smart Chain or whatever chain that they happen to be using. Now there is a roadmap here, and they do talk about this partial NFT trading will go live. But as you can see here, there's not a whole lot here, but I basically you'll be able to take your NFT, fractionalize it into ERC20 tokens, and then you can then sell those ERC20 tokens as OTC instead, right? And then they could all be fixed priced OTC'd, right? Now, it's not 100% clear. Like this, if you read this, it kind of implies a little bit that you need to come up with these ERC20 fractionalized ERC20 tokens. However, the roadmap does say, you know, partial NFT trading. So I assume that they're going to build this out and so forth. I think that's pretty much it for today. Like I said, this is just a quick overview, a quick little look at what this project is. And I suggest you to join the community and ask more questions, dig deeper, and find out if this project is something you're interested in and you feel like you would like to support them or know more about it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.